now that you understand what nurturing is, why it's important, then we need to figure out what's effective. How do you make it successful, and what makes it up? So once you get a prospect to identify themselves, how do you nurture them? That happens through your prospect follow-up. To do that, you create a workflow or a process in which you're communicating with them. I recommend a integrated or a blended method of communication. So it's a mixture of maybe automated emails or virtual type communication, text messages, and then also personal phone calls and personal touch points. If you can blend this and integrate it, you're going to have the biggest chance for success. You can even tie in things like direct mail at this point. When you have all these different touch points, so I've got a prospect in the center, and I've got my automated emails coming, and I time that up with specific personal phone calls or text messages and maybe direct mail messages. I get to kind of approach my prospect from different angles. I get to communicate them in a way and get more exposure to them and touch points with them, which gives me a greater chance of getting them to the next step, which is that first commitment. I want to get them into that success session. So you want to use that like integrated workflow. Here's some keys to making sure that your workflow and your nurture process is a success. Right? To do this, you need to be persistent. Don't give up. Don't take no for an answer in terms of, and I don't say this like argue with the prospect. What I mean by don't take no for an answer and be persistent is if you get a voicemail or you don't get a response for 2 or 3 days, don't give up. People are busy. You're not top of their mind all the time. So all of these follow-ups, all we're trying to do is get them to engage with us, right? So use them and just be persistent. 7 to 10 days of a great workflow where you're doing this follow-up, that can go a long way. Add value. Don't be take, take, take. Don't just try to persuade them to take the next action with you. Make sure that you are adding value to them. Give them case studies. Send them testimonial videos. Send them blog posts or articles that you've written that you think would be of value to them, and then ask them to do something. So you need to be persistent. You need to add value, and you need to constantly be thinking about one step ahead of what this prospect is going to want. What do they need? How can you overcome any objections that they have? So if you make sure you have an integrated or blended model, that you're adding value and that you're very persistent, you're going to have a lot of success. Another thing, don't automate if you can't manage it. Everyone wants to have automated workflows, automated processes for follow-up. Those are great as long as you can manage it and if you can make it seem very personal. Don't overlook the value of simple. You know, having an administrative assistant or yourself as the business owner or as the lead salesperson, actually picking up the phone and calling someone and just managing it off a spreadsheet. In fact, in our lead tracker that we provide, and even with some of our coaching clients that we work with, we use a really simple spreadsheet. They have a pre-planned 7 to 10 day prospect follow-up workflow that they go through, and they just write down the dates that they actually accomplished it. And a lot of it is phone calls and text or personal emails. Very little is automated. And I guarantee you that the time you'll spend investing in personal contact and managing this simple workflow, it will give you a really good ROI on that time that you did invest, because you're putting the personal time in. If somebody's identified themselves as a prospect, they're extremely valuable to your business. So don't overlook the value of that personal interaction and a really simple prospect workflow or prospect follow-up workflow that you can integrate into your business versus trying to automate everything. It seems impersonal, and then trying to figure out how to optimize it if you can't track and manage it. So simple over automated if it's complicated, persistent, value-based, know what your prospects want, and you'll have great success.